You're watching Fox Sports.
Thanks for joining us as we continue our coverage of the Qantas International Gymnastics Challenge, the test event for the Sydney Olympic Games. Well, yesterday we saw the men in action in the all-round competition, and today the women take to the floor for the first time inside this Olympic venue, the Sydney Superdome. Well, once again we have a world-class field with competitors from the top nations from last year's World Championships, including, of course, a very strong contingent from Australia. Now, Liz Chekovich is our Fox Sports gymnastics expert, and Liz, the Aussies really should feature well tonight.
Yes, Trudy McIntosh and Alana Slater are both capable of top 10 places in the world, so when we see them amongst this field, there's no reason why they couldn't be the top of the field after tonight's competition. Well,
they're really going to have their work cut out for them. It's an awesome field, and probably the Romanian is the hot favourite.
Yes, I think she really stands out. Izarescu is very, very strong on three apparatus, quite good on bars, but particularly strong on vault, beam and floor. We have Sara Morro from Spain. She's a really great little worker. She was 10th place at last year's World Championships. Kui Yuanyuan from China. Watch out for her on the balance beam. And my pet to watch tonight is Ludovine Fernon on the floor.
Yeah, it certainly is a great field. We have 32 competitors from 10 nations competing tonight. It's going to be a very exciting battle for the Women's All-Round Championship.
In all, there are 13 Australians in the field tonight. 5 of them are starting on floor. Melinda Cleland will be first off. Amelia Plant from Canada, Elizabeth Wong, Jenny Smith from Australia, and then the two next competitors, Jana Komaskova of the Czech Republic and Emily Fournier, are probably the strongest in this group of 8. And then we have Tam Lee and Zena McLaughlin. Across on the vault, Brooke Walker, Lisa Skinner and Alana Slater. A lot of attention on her. Sarah Morrow and Esther Moya are the two Spanish competitors. Alexandra Croak, Andrea Izarescu from Romania, one to watch, and of course Trudy McIntosh. Uneven bars. We've got a couple of competitors from the Ukraine, Galina Truk and Natalia Oradini. Also Elvira Teza from France, and Kui Yuanyuan, a gold medalist at World Championships on the floor, and she's got a great beam routine as well. We've got Jeanette Antolin from the United States and Ludovine Fernon, another one to watch, Brooke O'Brien and Yun Yang from China. Starting on the beam, Marina Zazekskaya from Belarus. She has Natalia Naromovich also from Belarus there. Jackie Dunn. Holly Murdoch you might have seen at Commonwealth Games from Great Britain. And the two Italian competitors also should be watched tonight, Adriana Krisky and Martina Bramini. And the Sydney Superdome has got a great crowd in this evening. And Liz Chetkovich, they're in for a great time.
They certainly are. It's a great field tonight. Plenty of good competitors to watch.
And Melinda Cleland being introduced to the crowd, and she gets a good hand as well. Nice for them to be performing at home.
Certainly is. It's a great experience for the girls. Good dress rehearsal. Melinda opening with a very clean full in back out in pike position, particularly good landing. 2.5 twist punch front, and she's gone soft on the connection and unfortunately not able to stay on her feet.
Melinda's 15 and lives with Trudy McIntosh in Melbourne at Cheltenham.
Yes, the girls certainly put a lot of effort into their gymnastics, and quite a few of them relocated.
Melinda finished 8th in the all-around at the Nationals.
Yes, particularly strong on this apparatus and also on vaulting. Lost her composure slightly just towards the end of the routine. Leap combinations. Last tumbling line, she'll have to go strong. And a good double pike. So that routine, unfortunately, marred by the fall in the second line.
So one clearly identifiable big problem for Melinda in that routine, which will disappoint her.
Certainly, and she's going to lose the bonus of the combination as well, which is not, it's a 0.2 combination bonus. And she's finishing very well with that double pike, so that's a real shame for her.
And Jackie Dunn.
Watch this mount here. This mount is named after Jackie. She performed it at last year's World Championships, and it's called the Dunn. Half turn on, front walkover off. Extremely difficult to do because of the alignment, the precision required. And this series now, once again, complicated.
The next competitor on the floor is
flip, and it's called an Anodi. She's off, unfortunately. That element is actually very similar to her mount. The mount is like an Anodi, but from the board. And it's a very, very difficult series to perform. Front salto, changement jump. It's a connection, acrobatic and gymnastic element combined, which they need to show.
I wonder how many moves Henrietta Anodi has had named after her.
She's had a few, and they're all called Anodi.
How about that? A great American gymnast. Sorry, I'm thinking of... Yes, she's Hungarian, isn't she? Just thinking of Aquino, Betty Aquino.
Yes, and watch the combination. Cartwheel, flick, double tuck, and a bit weak in the legs as she's landing. She'll be very disappointed with that routine. This is one of her pet events. She has been quite consistent of late. Let's see what happens. She's straight when she steps down, but turning too early, not taking the element over the top. Coach giving her some pointers. And each time they step out, of course, they learn from the experience.
And across to Lisa Skinner on the vault.
This is a Yushchenko-style vault. Beautifully performed. 9.6 start value for that vault.
Very good. Well done.
Round off onto the board. Contacts the horse. Salto, half turn, and a layout front. It's a good start for her.
Lisa had a bit of a disaster on the vault in the national championships earlier this week.
Yeah, she missed the contact with her hands and couldn't get the vault around properly, but that's a good vault. Minor errors on the landing, but should score in about 9.2, 9.3 for that vault. Now, of course, they have to perform a second vault different to the first. It may be the same family, which means she can do the Yushchenko-style vault, but she has to show something different in the post-flight.
On the floor, Elizabeth Wong, representing
First score was a 9.225. So what can she do with the second vault? That's a good first score.
Well, she's actually, they have a little code for them. You can see there's a vault number 4504, which means she's going to attempt a 1.5 twist this time. So she's adding an extra full twist into the post-flight. Yes, looks good.
Oh, she's done a good job with that, Lisa Skinner.
And I think she'll be trying to make amends, having performed poorly, especially on this apparatus in the Australian Championships, and she's got a point to prove for sure. Good contact again, 1.5 twist. She's known for her great body positions in the air. Watch for the full stretch of her hips as she's twisting. It's nice and straight, legs squeezed together, and a solid landing.
And the score's in now, and a 9.318 is the average of the two. That's the score that'll count after a 9.412 for a second vault. Well, Liz, you must get excited every time Alana Slater steps up to perform, a West Australian.
Yes, I must say I've got a soft spot for her, but look, she is just motoring along. She's won the Australian title recently. And vaulting is her least favoured apparatus. She does a Cuervo vault, which is a handspring onto the horse, half turn and a back salto off. And the first one in tucked position. Sorry, not tucked, piked. Well, I'm wrong again. It's actually a layout. She's called a layout, but it looks like a pike to me. And if the judges think it's a pike, they will deduct 0.3 from the start value. She's got to show the stretch in the post flight, and I'd say that she hasn't been successful in doing that.
And the first vault, 9.3. She probably won't be disappointed with that, Alana Slater.
That's a very good score for Alana, and I think the judges obviously were impressed with it. Sometimes we don't get the full perspective looking at it from a
You're trying to let the judges off the hook here, Liz.
I am. I'm saying that I think that they've been a little kind to her, but we'll take it.
Slater's second vault.
And a better second vault, better quality from the horse. She's just getting a little bit stronger. She's grown a little bit in the last year, and she's finding some more power. She was so small for so long. This is a 9.6 start value, so this she's called a pike on this one. And the start value obviously 3/10 less than the layout. But you can see legs a little bit apart, a little bit low on the landing, but performed about as well as she can.
Second vault, a 9.1. And the average score for Alana Slater, 9.2. And Jeanette Antolin from the United States. Well, American gymnastics a little bit at the crossroads, Liz. They're looking for good competitors, aren't they?
They are. Antolin's very strong on this apparatus. She's been a medalist at World Cup level, Zurich Grand Prix, third on bars, 98. And she's a powerful swinger.
From Huntington Beach, California.
And there's L-grip giants here. Look at the swing on into a layout Jaeger. I think she might be the only girl in the world performing that particular element at the moment, and it's very spectacular. Little connecting move from low to high. And the caster handstand being a little bit short as well. They're all the small things which the judges find. That's an interesting bar routine. All her release elements coming from an L-grip position, which is very hard to do.
See, she's quite powerfully built. And
she is, and mostly when they work in that L-grip position, they don't swing very hard, but she's just dynamite.
Our next competitor on the floor is Jana Komskova, representing the Czech Republic.
Jana Komskova from the Czech Republic.
Jana Komskova.
Quite tall at around 166 centimetres. Should set up some graceful lines, Liz.
Yeah, she's a lovely worker. She's good on 4 apparatus. And she's opening with a very controlled Arabian double front.
She is the Czech #1 on floor, vault and uneven bars and all around.
Oh, she's missed the connection there, so a whip 2.5 punch front, and a similar error to Melinda Cleland's. Missed the timing on the floor. Not only gets the deduction for the fall of 0.5, but the 0.2 connection which she would have earned also disappears. Double turn, tuck jump double. She's aiming to collect some bonus for that particular dance connection. a double pike to finish, but once again the legs giving way. So not such a good performance for Kromskova. Would have expected a lot better from her, actually.
So perhaps a disappointing start to the evening's work for Jana.
There's the double pike at the end. Nice to see the legs squeeze tight together, but she just loses rotation.
She looked in good position. She got through it.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise when she landed like that, actually.
She's got a weakness in that ankle, perhaps, to something gave way. Emily Fournier, this could be an exciting routine, Liz.
Yeah, she's very strong on floor. As you can see, she has a powerful build. She was a member of the Canadian team at Commonwealth Games, has a lot of experience. 10th in the team at World Championships. She's from Montreal. She actually trains at the old Olympic venue down in the basement there. They have their gym.
They paid for it yet?
I don't know. Nice double layout. Excellent amplitude on the leaps and jumps, makes them look particularly easy. 1.5 front full. Rather an abstract dance theme. Front salto through to a double pike. It's one of the requirements. They need to show 2 different saltos in one line. Well performed.
Emily Fournier, she's seen a few fail before her on floor, and she got through that pretty well, so she might find herself doing quite nicely at the end of the floor.
Good repertoire, showing variety in her tumbles. She had some good front, back tumbles, connections.
Natalia Orodini of Ukraine. Uneven bars.
Ukraine occupy the spot that the Australian women covet, which is 3rd place as a team. So we're watching every performance these Ukrainians put in, and we know what we have to rise to if we want that bronze medal come games time. So far so good. A little bit of knee bend on the swing past the low bar, and that's a nice combinations. And an Arabian double front to finish. So she starts backwards and does a half turn in and double front forwards. Some leg form errors in that bar, so that's what's going to bring her down a little bit. Watch as she swings past the low bar, knees a bit bent into her L grip, and then full pirouette. And here's the half turn in, double front out.
Across to the vault and waiting for the green light, Andreea Izarescu. Well, the Romanians are so strong. They're tipped for gold or silver, really, in teams, aren't they, at Olympics?
Well, we want to hope that they get the gold. They've won just about every World Championship gold and never an Olympic gold. And look at that to start. Very, very strong, technically beautiful. This is what's called a Phelps, half turn on, half turn off layout front, named after American gymnast J.C. Phelps. So it's a Sugihara family Half turn on here, half turn off. Needs a little bit more stretch through her hips ideally.
And Andreas from Deva in Romania, coached by Stefan Gal. Score is a good one for Ezerescu, 9.325 on the vault. First score only, of course. She's got another one to come. And we'll average the two.
She's going to do the same vault, but from a round-off approach. Half turn front layout and a much stronger vault, the second one. 9.6 start value. More power, of course, from that Yushchenko entry. So contacting backwards, half turn, layout front, better hip position, more amplitude from the horse itself, getting more distance, a little bit more height.
They hit the vault, Liz. Their arms are all pretty much straight. They're not getting a lot of push-off except from the hands.
No, they normally keep their shoulder very tight and they just tend to bounce like a stick would bounce off the floor.
So Yang Yun from China. Uneven bars.
Chinese have a wonderful reputation on this apparatus. Relatively simple connection to the high bar to start. Reverse grip giant. There's the full pirouette on one arm, straight through to the piked Jaeger. Pack salto down to the low bar, becoming very popular. There's her eagle grip giants. Half pirouette out. And double layout to finish. Well-performed routine, not up in the highest class, but certainly going to give her a reasonably good start for her competition round today.
Can't miss the leotard. She's
very shiny.
Judges aren't going to lose track of her.
There's that nice pike Jaeger. Pack salto has to catch and feel the support. The shoulders right on top of the bar. Gaining a bit of speed into the dismount and taking the double layout nice and high above the bar.
Esther Moya from Spain.
This is her pet event vault. Beautiful vault. Very, very nice. So she uses the round-off approach onto the board, and then she does that Cuervo vault off, which is the half turn and a back salto. So round off, half turn on, half turn off, and back pike salto. Very, very complicated vault. So lots of twists and turns, good stretch there, and good distance as well.
And a good first score for Esther Moya of Spain. 9-4 on the vault. Second to come. Second vault for Esther Moya of Spain. A 9-4 with her first.
Same as before, but in a tuck position, keeping in mind they have to show a different vault. Lower start value, a 9.7. But she's performing it well. Very consistent contact position onto the horse. Timing has to be impeccable. If they turn too early, they lose their rotation. Nice positioning, open tuck position, and she should score well for that as also, and the 2 vault scores averaged.
Adriana Krisky from Italy on beam.
Krisky, a very strong competitor. And when you see those wobbles there, if it's anything more than a 0.15 deduction, they will lose the bonus points for the connection. Flick, layout, flick, series of 3 elements. Not required to have a series of 3, just a series of 2, so she's showing more than the requirements. And that's sort of like a tour jeté to 2 feet, which wasn't particularly well performed. Front salto changement, and could have been too slow on that connection as well. Judges are very strict on whether they pay the connections or not. The Italians qualified their team in 9th position, so they're a well-performed team. Bound to see Krisky at the Olympic Games.
A dismount to come from Krisky.
Double tuck. Oh, too much squat on the landing.
So Krisky, I mean, she stayed on the apparatus, but she had her problems, didn't she, Liz?
She did. She's missing a lot of bonus connections. The dismount quite low, and in fact, they might even take off for almost like a fall there.
And an 8.675 for Adriana Krisky on the beam. Well, Trudy McIntosh is the last competitor on vault.
And she's choosing the handspring front in layout position. My gosh, she makes that look incredibly easy. So hard to keep a straight body position. She's doing it with an excellent body form as well. And she's going from strength to strength on this apparatus. A lot of confidence. Hips stretched throughout, and she knows exactly where she is on that landing.
Interesting to see if she keeps it in line with the runway, which is desirable.
Pretty good. Not a lot wrong with that vault. A 9.8 start value.
And a 9.487 for the first vault. Now, second vault for Trudy McIntosh from Victoria.
McIntosh doing the McIntosh. This vault is named after her. 10.0 start value. Full twist in the post flight. Oh, no, not good enough. She just rushed the pre-flight there, lacked some rotation, and paid for it at the end. So she's maybe started her twist too early. She's a bit piked coming off the horse. Disappointing for her. So right there, she's piked down off the horse before she started a twist.
And so the second vault only an 8.975, and the average of the two, 9.231 for Trudy McIntosh. Well, the standings then after the first rotation, and it's Horodini from Ukraine with a 9.6, narrowly ahead of the American competitor Antolin. Then it's China through Yang and 9.537, Fournier of Canada, and then Lisa Skinner is the best placed Australian in 5th. Jenny Smith in 7th, and Kui Yuan in 6th. We might expect her to move up through the field as the evening progresses.
Gymnasium currently means high school in Germany, where it's believed most students